Our topic tonight, dealing with car, truck, and motorcycle wrecks. We're going to go right back to the phone lines where Carolyn over in Irondale is on the line for us. Good evening, Carolyn. How are you this evening?
Hello, how are you?
Hi, Carolyn.
Fine. Well, I'm handling it, I should say.
Good.
But I had an accident back in March, and my tendons were damaged. But my right one, I had problems pre-existing, but it had gotten better, and but it had flared up and gotten worse, and then the other one had started giving me problems. But I've had surgery about a couple of months ago since then, but the adjusters was trying to give me a low amount, so I'm wondering, with surgery, shouldn't that make the offer more?
That's a great question.
And Jessica, your advice for her?
I think the biggest piece of advice I would give you, Miss Carolyn, is to order ask your doctor for some of your medical records from before March, before the accident, because it will show that you were not actively going to the doctor as often for your tendon issues. That way, when the adjuster compares your records before and after the accident, they'll see that you're getting a lot more medical treatment, that your complaints escalated over time. The key is to show them how different your pain complaints were before this accident versus afterwards. And once you're able to show that difference, then the adjuster should relate the surgery. And you're right, a surgery claim does make the value of a claim increase, typically.
And Jessica, there's something called exacerbation claims, where you may have pre-existing problems, but those problems are made much worse by a trauma, like an automobile accident. And often, like in Carolyn's case, it can take you from a place of having a problem that you can manage with medications or exercise to a place where you have to have surgery. And in that event, the surgery is your damage. You wouldn't have had to have the surgery but for the accident. So yeah, that surgery will make her case a valuable case. The adjuster should be fair with you.
Well, Carolyn, thank you so much for calling in with that. It actually makes me think of a question that I know a lot of folks have. When you get into a wreck, get into a car accident, and the insurance company of the other party calls, do you talk to them? Y'all are smiling.
If you have a lawyer, no.
Absolutely.
Okay. If you do not have a lawyer?
I would say if you're injured in an accident,
Okay.
do not talk with the insurance company.
Okay.
That would be my advice.
Okay.
If you just have property damage, if it's an accident where somebody just bumped into you, that is not a problem. Talk to the insurance company, work it out with them. But if you have injuries, you don't need to talk with the other insurance company, because what you're doing is talking with somebody who is a professional, and their job, and this is not a knock on insurance companies at all, their job is to keep your claim as low as they can. That's their job, and they're quite good at it, and you run the risk of saying something that would hurt your case. So if you're injured, you're contemplating whether you need to get a lawyer or not, don't talk to the insurance company.
It's good advice. I mean, just solid to let folks know straight out. It sounds like you need to get a lawyer. You don't want to wait to get an attorney.
You do not want to wait.
Because time is of the essence in cases like this.
Like the videos we were talking about?
Yes, yes.
Insurance companies are already working on the case. The day it happens, they're working on the case. You need somebody working for you.
Okay, that's good. You mentioned that, and we talked about this before, and so, Jessica, your advice for folks when they're looking for a lawyer, you don't always have to go with the first one that you run into. You can interview, don't be afraid to interview, ask questions. I think a lot of times folks think, I have to go with someone maybe that I don't feel comfortable with. No. That's not the case.
It is not.
Yeah.
I think it's totally normal and fine to talk to a couple lawyers before you choose one.
Okay.
And a lot of firms will have intake professionals that are great at answering 90% of questions and are really responsive on the phone lines, but you can ask those folks to speak to a lawyer in the firm. You can ask which lawyer your case is likely to get assigned to. Okay. If I were hiring a lawyer, I would ask them, how many cases have you taken all the way to trial? How many of my type of case do you handle typically? I mean, these are all kind of important questions. You want to find someone who communicates in a way that you connect with and that you can really trust.
Those are all really good questions, and you mentioned that as well before.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
want to know if you've tried my case.
Yes.
Have you tried my case in front of a jury?
Yes.
That's an important question. And how many cases like mine have you handled? Now, if I were having open heart surgery in the morning, I would hate for my doctor to come in and go, Kirby, this is the first time I've taken a stab at this, but I think we're going to be okay.
Right.
I would not want to be in that
That is true,
situation.
yes,
Right?
yes.
So get someone with experience
Yeah.
in your particular area.
And you mentioned, I think you both mentioned this word, that has tried your case.
Yes.
Not just mediated or something like that. Why is that important?
Because you don't know going in. You don't know what's going to happen with your case. And we think the best philosophy and approach to handling a personal injury case is when you take the case, you start preparing for trial. If along the way you get it settled, that's fantastic. If the insurance company is willing to do something fair for your client, that's better for everybody. But if they're not, you don't want to find yourself a year and a half down the road having not done your work, and suddenly you're staring at a trial date.
Yeah.
So our approach is we take the case, we try to resolve it if possible. If that's not possible, then we file the case and start preparing for trial.
Okay.
And that's the best way to get it settled.
And you all try cases.
We try a lot of cases.
Yes, absolutely. Well, folks, we have had a lot of great questions tonight, so we certainly want again to share the number for Kirby and Jessica. Again, their number 205-883-6636. They're on the web at deliveringjustice.com. Jessica, I love what you said. You know, the intake folks are great, but if you want to speak with a lawyer, make that known. Don't be afraid to say, I really like to speak with someone, and you can certainly ask for these two if that is who you will prefer. So thank you so much just for sharing your expertise and your advice for folks. We certainly hope folks will be safe out there this holiday season. Just with everything that's going on around you, make sure that you're taking care and being safe.